right, guys, welcome. Claim your new life now. So, it's a lot of us today. Um, the intention with Winning Generation is really to merge communities. Like, my first intention was to have like 5 people in this podcast of Winning Generation. And we started with 3, like, we've done 3 episodes. This is basically the 4th time that we meet. And today we show up with 5 people. So here we go. Let's go. We're going to take Roger's channeling very shortly. For now, I want to be inviting us all to just like have a short moment of silence, so we can all, everyone on this live or in the replay, can just anchor themselves in this moment for humanity, for oneness, for love. So let's go. Just feel everything that's present. No judgment, no naming. And now, know that you're loved and you are love. So, for now, I want to actually give Aaron the opportunity to share some words that are present with him, as he's just been visiting us like very spontaneously. And yeah, go for it, brother.
So it's been a very difficult and tumultuous, journey through this, what we call spirituality. At one point I was calling it awakening or remembering. And as of recent, I've stopped using any of those labels because what I've realized is it just is. And that's what I believe a lot of us get stuck on. We're identifying and we're using our essentially animal brain to try to define what is absolute truth. And it's something that I continue to face with communicating these concepts to people. They tell me, you can't say the absolute. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm only pointing, just like any of us can do, with my finger, as all the great masters have done. Here's what we're looking at. It's here. I am communicating with human words to describe an absolute experience that we're all experiencing currently. And that's what I just want to share with every single human being. This concept of enlightenment, awakening, whatever it may be, whatever lens it's viewed through, it's already accessible in this current moment. And it's only our essentially misknowing, or ignorance is a word that some people view as harsh. It's just, our ignorance of who we actually are. It's that we take on this role. I am Aaron Hurst, and that is who I am. And then when I peel that back, one of my favorite quotes is by a great teacher, Ramana Maharishi. He said, ask yourself, who am I? And when I started asking myself that, I started to peel back the layers, and I was like, there is no I. That's made up. And it's all appearing within consciousness, within what we call God. So that's what's alive for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate that, because I ask myself, like, who am I? And I've never got an answer if I really ask this question. So, and it's the truth is in the silence, for it's in the stillness. There is no naming of truth. Truth is, wisdom is, love is, God is. And there is no separation. Every time I name a concept, I try to whatever, it is already limiting again. And God consciousness is not limiting. So yeah, the I love that. So Wilhelm, I'm going to get you now. I would like for us to have a little back and forth conversation as we feel like it. And yeah, just tell us what's present. Roger is channeling Wilhelm now.
Thank you so much. And we are ready to begin. And as we say each time we meet you, we have waited for you your entire lives. And this was a perfect conversation to explain what we meant. You're always in process. You're always evolving. You're always becoming more. That's why you had a physical life experience. But you decided to become here now because your world is moving through what we've called a restructuring. So for many of you, that could have been a little challenging. It could have been a little difficult, but that is what you wanted because it's causing you to become who you're meant to become. You're remembering and you're always doing that. And what we have given you today is a little pathway. We had our messenger post messages from 2008 so that you would see there's a progression that you each move through in your consciousness to come to a higher state of consciousness, but you're doing that in your physical world. And the reason that you decided to be here because you knew it would be a little challenging and you knew that it would cause you to remember to love yourself. And that's the message that we gave you in the beginning of this process, because we said the difficulties that you're all experiencing now is you forgot to love yourself, but that is a natural process. You each have your own individual evolutionary paths, and they are peppered with everything that has come before, all of your ancestors, everything that has been in your realm, and that lineage, as we call it. But then you'll remember the things you did wrong, the things you screwed up, the things that didn't work out, so you can correct them. That's what you're doing now, but it's also what your world is doing. And as we've said, it's concentrated in different places. This has happened throughout your history of humankind, that you'll see great changes happening, and they're connected to the galactic changes that occur in your world. And this moon, this full moon, is a powerful one because it gives you the opportunity to take the next step into accepting you. It's nothing else other than you accepting yourself. You are the most important person in your life. That's what we want you to understand. But you will judge yourself. You will think you screwed up. You made all these terrible things, and you all have done that. But this is why you're here now. And you can't correct anything that you're not willing to see, that you're not willing to examine. And that's what you're each experiencing now. And you might find yourself judging and having these regrets, as our messenger did. He said, why didn't I do this before? Why couldn't I have gone out? It wasn't part of the timing. It wasn't part of his plan, as it might not have been for you. So the first thing you do is decide to let go of the judgment, because you'll all have it. This self-judgment about I didn't do it. And we said you couldn't have known before you knew. That's how it works. But you're in a moment of this presence where it's so vital for you to remember that the energy of love is the most powerful thing that you possess. And you will have others, as we've said, all the others who you will disagree with, who will come into your experience, but we want you to see them in a different way. We want you to see them as helping you to remember that higher version of who you're meant to become. And it will be difficult sometimes. You will have tears. You will be on your knees. You will have all of that, but that is the process of ascension. And as we've said, we've given you an ascension journey. Now, you each come in to do something different. There's no right or wrong in there, and there's no better or worse. You must let go of that idea as well. Our messenger didn't know he was creating this, and he resisted just like you all might have. But then he ends up seeing that he has something that's valuable for not only his evolutionary path, but for all others. You each do the same thing. You will just do it in different ways. But you go through periods of separation, meaning that you think that you are disconnected from source or God or whatever part that you think of. You always think that, but then you come back to remembrance. And that is the process of self-actualization or ascension. And you're all doing it now in a really great way. So we can't be more excited that you would be listening, because the energy of you being here, whenever that might be, it doesn't matter when you might hear, energy is your entire world. Energy is your universe, and you each will use that in different ways. And the way that you want to use it for yourself is in love. That's the highest form of all of it. But you must move through all the other things that you thought were wrong within you, and that never occurs. You just keep remembering, and we love that so much, from all of you coming together. And this is the time, as we've said, you have thought of periods in your world where the age of Aquarius, you thought it was some time ago. We're saying it's now. And you can even see that in the shifts of your planets that have occurred. That means that you're meant to come together. You will not see that and witness that always in your world. You have to witness it within yourself. That means you must come together. That is what healing is about, you coming together within. And then as you do that, you will see it manifest in your life, but also in your world. And we just wanted more of you to be able to do that, because the greater number of you who decide to take that journey, that's how big this gets. But it's for each of you. And again, You're going to have your individual uh, pitfalls, let's say, and judgments or things you didn't do. That's okay. You start to acknowledge it, you embody it, and then you take the next step. And we gave you a message for tomorrow saying you probably didn't ask. And we're saying this because we gave it to you last year. We wanted to show you the order. There is order in your universe, and you just come to understand it at different times. And different beings, like our messenger, decided to take on a role to demonstrate it. And he's had challenges because no one had done it like he has done it. No one has done anything like you either. And that's the challenge that you each have, is to embrace it and to embody it. And then the more of you who do that, you see your world and your planet start to evolve in the place that you wanted it to go. And this is why we wanted you to understand your importance on this day, because the more of you who do that, there's an energy that becomes exponential, that starts to just go to the heavens, so to speak. And the more of you who do it, you'll feel the love within yourself. And that is what we wanted. And we don't know if we had any questions, but if we do, if anyone wants to send them, we would love to take them.
Sure thing. Like what I have two things that I want to touch on. Before, one is about life and death. I want you to talk about life and death. But before that, please tell us the role of the women, because I just feel inspired by the two women in this room right now.
Yes.
Because how they're nodding, how they're giving their
Yes.
energy towards what's happening. I
Yes.
believe it's a very important topic that we can just go with.
Yes. Thank you. And that is the most important thing. And it is about the feminine energy. You see, you move through times in your world when it's gone on forever, and you can see it. All you have to do is look at your history, and you see that it was male dominated. And that was what has been controlling your world for the longest time. And you needed a shift. So we said that shift is going to come when each of you balance those energies within yourselves. You have about all of them. You're masculine and feminine. Those energies exist within every person. But you may have had a different balance in your life that you wanted to balance out now. But the feminine energy is what is needed the most, because as you can see, your world has gone through these challenging times and wars and all of that, and this male dominated energy. And the women, because they carry more of that feminine energy, are meant to come alive now, are meant to become aware. And the men are meant to embody more of their feminine energies, which they sometimes deny that they have and won't embrace. And this is what keeps the conflicts going on in your world. So now is a perfect time for more of you to start to balance those energies within yourself. And what was your the other question?
Like, yeah, because we're in a transition right now, and you mentioned it, and I want you to talk about life and death, because I believe like most of the people's fear is about the fear of dying.
Yes, so we gave you that message. So, and we know most of you get upset when we say it, but you don't die. You transition. Everything is consciousness. You come into the world and you have these physical bodies and you move through things with them, and they're difficult and all of that. But then you transition into a different place. And if any of you have experienced the passage of another, you will feel the energy of them leaving their bodies. And it's the most glorious experience when you can understand the process. There's just transition. That's consciousness again, and consciousness always exists. Now it changes form over time. And this is why we said to you, your ancestors are watching with curiosity, because when they existed, they couldn't do certain things that you have the ability to accomplish now. And this is what you're each looking at within your own way to see, how can I improve upon what they did? And that's always going to be transcending the idea of death. So you begin to live more now.
Amazing, thank you. I forgot, Jenna, do you have any question or anything that you would like to ask Wilhelm?
Yeah, I also trust in divine order, and I don't believe you forgot. I believe I was supposed to go now, and I just thank you for this order and what you guys are in. Yes. I had a experience in 2020 where I got viral on TikTok for saying ADHD is a dopamine addiction, and I was trying to hide, and I got 144,000 followers. And then shortly after was taken against my will into a psych box where I had a near-death experience, and I got to see what I created, and I wasn't going to be here to usher in the kingdom of heaven. And I was excited. I was actually really excited that my friends were going to get to do this. And that was July 7th, 2022. And
Yes.
so 7/7/2022, I die and embody heaven because I already know it's here. And I've been on the sidelines for 1,300 days, or what it feels like the sidelines. That's my ego saying here. And I've
Yes.
been so excited. So being here and just seeing the full moon, seeing the order. I've been studying human design as an autistic individual for 5 years. I've saw the pattern, and I'm working on putting it in my own words and how to embody this here as a real thing. And it's overwhelming, and it's like you get beat up every day, and I just feel like I'm going to work on a football field, and I just run as hard as I can and then wake up and start again, and just know that that ever-ending, unending, potent power that resides inside of me, that it really doesn't matter what I do. I just get to do my best in the present moment. I can't do it wrong. I can't mess it up. And so much of me has been speaking into this space of trying to get somewhere. And today, in the order of all, it's just like I don't even those words don't come to space.
Yeah.
They're just not here. I'm just here, and it feels like what I knew and what I know and what is just all coming together. And I just want to sit back, and I'm just bawling because I'm excited, not because I'm sad. It's just the
Yes.
present moment.
You just validate so much, and we thank you. So you will all see the perfection of this, because you gave us 2 vital years that we wanted everyone to understand the progression of time. 2020, we gave you a message on this day that said, welcome to your new life. And that is what you brought up. And then in 2022 was another pivotal moment. We gave you another message on that day. So you were, as many were of you were in 2020, you thought that you were just being shut down by the pandemic and all of that. No, you were being called to go inside. You were being called to go in and just kind of reference things. And others would not have understood this, which is why you would have gone into this other area, the psych thing and all of that, because you don't understand the evolvement of consciousness, and others don't as well. So you were serving as a wonderful example for so many, and you just gave such validation to the information that we wanted others to understand. So we can't thank you enough for that and for your contribution, because we also know it was challenging for you and it was difficult, but now you're seeing the other side and you're able to express that and demonstrate it for so many others.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. And yeah, we've got another question. Randy Sanders asked, hi, Wilhelm. Can you explain why February 19th is an important date?
There's certain dates that carry an energy, a projection that goes throughout consciousness. And you each will, if you studied numerology, you kind of see the idea that people over time have developed the idea of information with particular numbers. And so that one was really vital for our messenger, because he started to recognize that what we had given him, and we took him back to Copernicus, you see, because that was a date that was his birthday, and that was a time where people didn't understand and believe what he was bringing to the world, and then the world started to see it later. We're saying this because we want you to all to understand that you come to accept things at later. That's what we say. You always understand it later, but there's an organization that occurs in your world, and you can think about the stars and the planets and the galaxies, but over time you start to interpret things in a new way, and then it takes a while for the rest of the masses, as we would say, to accept that, but you're each doing that in a different way. So yes, February 19th was that really pivotal time, and you can do research on this because you have technology now. And if you were to go in your artificial intelligence and just do a search on that date, you will be amazed at what you would come up. And you say, how did that occur? Because you pass on information from one another, and it's always in consciousness.
Amazing, thank you. And we have another one. Does Wilhelm agree that introspection work on one's self-image, which is the shadow self, leads one to higher consciousness? Is there another way, Wilhelm, that can lead one to higher consciousness?
Well, you'll all do it. You may take different forms or modalities or whatever, but that is all of it. And that's the one thing that most people are afraid of, is the shadow work, because you don't want to acknowledge that you had these things within you that weren't to your liking, so to speak, or things that you did that weren't to your highest good. You all have it. And so then when you attempt to hide it, that's when you have more difficulties. You have more resistance. So you must understand that you're always in this continual place of evolving into consciousness, into a higher state. And so, but more people, and we've talked about this before because we do love using Carl Jung because he brought up the idea of the shadow work, and most people didn't understand him earlier on, and he didn't understand himself either for a while. And then he finally came to the place where he knew, which is what we want each of you to understand. There's a process that you each will move through, and that shadow work is part of it. Now, you may not call it shadow work when you're doing other modalities. You may do body work that causes you to go into these other places that are just really uncomfortable, and you don't understand them, but then you come out the other side and you feel different because that work that you were doing at that time took you into those deep, dark places, and then you released it. And many of you have had that. So you might do it in different ways, but we want you to understand that it's always occurring in your consciousness.
Amazing, thank you. And I think like it's also like the shadow part is just part of us being a human, and the
Yes.
integrated shadow brings us back to our higher self. It's nothing bad that the
Yes.
shadow exists,
Yes.
but it helps us to really fully even appreciate what we are and who we are, right?
Yes. And we're so glad that you brought that up because we want you to understand you've all felt the energies of your world. You've all felt the confusion. You've all felt all of that, or the conflict or chaos, as you might think of it. And that is because you will not have the mass majority of people in your world who become willing to look at that. They might do exactly the opposite, pretend that it didn't exist, that it never happened, and try to cover it up. But that's not going to work anymore. We just want to say, because more is going to be revealed. And you're experiencing that right now. And as we said, the United States is seeing the greatest amount of that on this day. You're uncovering things where you didn't treat women in the correct way, where you didn't treat those of a different race in a different way, and you've carried that on for the longest time as well. This is the time that you get to change that, when you become honest and remember that all souls have worth and value. This is what this entire period is about, is for more of you to come to that remembrance, and you come to it first within yourself. And that is acknowledging the trauma that has been within you because of what has existed before. But now is the greatest time ever on your planet to begin to change it.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, we have another share, and it's going to be like the second last, I feel. It says, I am in a place that I need to move from this house. I don't have money to move and rent a place, looking for a job, but just cannot get it. So there needs to be some limiting belief or pattern and subconscious around my self-identity that I am sabotaging myself, that reflects as not finding job that would be well paid in a healthy environment, etc.
Yes.
So yes, so agree, shadow isn't no, there's another one. Okay, let's go.
Okay, first thing we want you to do is change a lot of those words because they were all limiting, and that's the belief that you've set up. And again, everything occurs in consciousness. So the first place is start to believe something different. We've given you something called your 3 P's. Practice patience and persistence. When you're in the situation that you're not liking, that means you've been practicing thoughts in an incorrect way. You have to start to change them and practice new thoughts, new words, and then start to stay with it because you're breaking down old barriers. And when you understand your cognitive processes or neuroscience, you know that it takes a while before you shift those things, and there's a chemical shift that will happen within you that will cause it to happen. So the other thing we want you to do, because you have a history of not believing that you deserve to do what you love. That's the first place we want you to go back and start to think about and remember. For most of you, many of you, it's been talked out of you because you thought, I couldn't do this. I'm not that person. And then you carry that around, and then you end up in situations that are unpleasant for you because you've been carrying those thoughts. So we want you to just start by first acknowledging what it is that you love, who you want to become, what would give you the most joy. Joy is an energy again, because that's the energy of loving yourself. But Many of you will have different ways of coming about that or remembering, but for most of you, you don't believe you can do it. It's been talked out. So we want you to first start by changing so many of those thoughts that you said. And also, in the place that you're living currently, you can have a very different experience if you decide that it feels good, if you decide that you can enjoy it. No matter what it is, we know it's challenging, but change it in your consciousness first, and then it'll start to manifest in your life.
Amazing. And I felt like we have two more. Anya, it's yours.
Hi, Wilhelm. It's so great to share this space with you today. Yeah, I just have this urge to share. So really want to invite people, and also I want to see, what are your thoughts on this? Oh, no more people pleasing, no more walking on eggshells. Like,
Yes.
it's really time. It's really time to step into our power and just not care what other people think of us, because
Yes.
we are unique. We are so unique, and I call it like we are beautiful badasses because we are one of the most badass souls incarnated here on planet Earth. We decided to come here in this time, and we
Yes.
are acting like we are so small, but we are so fucking amazing. So that's from me.
This is why today we thank you so much for that, because we wanted you to understand that you will move through that individually and you move through it collectively, where you think that you're not enough and you move through power struggles. You must understand that when humans first came to the earth, you started setting up those things where one person was more valuable than that, and you started passing on that consciousness to one another. And so then you end up in a place like you are in your world now, where that needs to shift. There needs to be a balance. And as we've said, you're seeing it in certain places. But we love, because our messenger saw this, knowing where you were from Slovenia, and stuff. You said this little country, but that was a very important country, because in the United States, your first lady is from there. And so, and all the judgments that any of you would have had about your president and your first lady and all of that are going to come up for you. And so you're going to have to look at that. And so you become a great mirror for so many to see, wait a minute, no, you can be different. You can be greater. And so to feel that, and to acknowledge that feeling of littleness is so valuable, because most don't want to admit that they've been feeling that way most of their lives. And then your society keeps carrying that on. And that's what you end up with, a place now where more of you need to become awakened, want to become awakened. And you don't need anything, you do, but you want it. And that's what we want to see. And we want to give you something else. So many of you have felt this was so challenging and difficult, as our messenger did. And we kept giving him over the years, and it was hard to accept, but we said, you are being prepared. That's each of you. You are being prepared for this time so that you could begin to accept your greatness, that you're magnificent. So we don't want you to judge yourself that you didn't get there yet, because you're in process now, and you'll take the next step tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you. And I want you to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to get Roger back. And it's about the future human. Can you tell us the future human and how the future human looks like, what the characteristics are like, how it shows up? And yeah.
Yes, and the future human is what you're all in the process of creating now, and we just gave you a little roadmap to get there. And this is why our messenger went through every difficult, challenging thing in his life. He had to look at all of his biases, all of those things that had gone on, all the things where he didn't believe himself, go through the illnesses, go through the process, and then he changed his mind. And so in that process, he kept doing it. This is why we want all of you to understand it's a process. And he kept doing it so he could give you an example, and that's what you'll all do. Then you'll reach this place where more humans are understanding that if they let go of their resistance and keep moving forward, so to speak, in that higher place of who they're meant to become, they will heal. They will start to see those illnesses and diseases and all of those things transcending. Then more of you will get to the place where you're using your consciousness, and this is that fifth dimensional thinking, where you're using your consciousness to manifest what you want. And it's going to be about love, and it's going to be about inclusion and acceptance, because you've been thinking that you're all somehow different, and you're not. You're all souls going to the same place. You're moving to that oneness. And so then the more of you who do that, you develop greater skills and greater abilities, because now you're passing it on to one another. And he's not any better than anyone. He had to take a really difficult journey to be able to get here, but you each have done that. But now is the time that when more of you recognize it and own it, there'll be this exponential growth, and then you'll see your world that you wanted to see. We've said before, the world that you want to see is not guaranteed. It's dependent on each of you deciding to create the world within yourselves that you want to experience, and then you'll see it manifest in your world.
Okay, and one more thing that feels important, and Anya asked this one, and please connect it also to the life and death, what we talked about, like something old has to die in order for something new to come.
Yes.
Systems are breaking down, all
Yes.
those things. And tell us why so many people or spiritual people struggle financially. And this is then really, really the last one.
Yes. Because the timing again. There is a timing in the universe that was meant to come about now. So you could, when you connect yourself to the material thing, the very first time our messenger in 1989 started to see what we were giving him, he couldn't understand why he could uncover some power and still struggle because he was afraid of using his power in an ego-oriented way, which is what you're witnessing a lot in your world now, which means that those who thought, and we're speaking of ego in a completely different sense than many of you might think of, we're talking about it, that ego that will either have you inflate yourself so big because you feel really insecure underneath, and then the other part of that ego that will have you become afraid so you stay hidden. But now there's a shift in your world, which we've called the restructuring. So those of you who have been on that spiritual path and not willing to embody it are now being called forth. You are the chosen ones, as we've said. You are the ones who are meant to remember and come about now. And then with that, the natural abundance will start to come to you, because abundance is energy, you see, and the energy is as it shifts, and the planets are going to help you do that, by the way, because they're changing as well, and there are qualities within those changes that will allow more of you to embrace abundance and stop being afraid of it, and stop being, thinking that you don't have enough. You will shift it, but be patient, as we've said, because it's coming about now. This is exactly why we had to have our messenger move to get to be more present with our work, because he was hiding, as many of you do. And we love using this, and more of you will understand it now, especially in this current time. The thing that you've all heard, the meek shall inherit the earth, and that came from your Bible, and many of you did not understand it. You're meant to understand it now. That is where we're going. And so that is what will change. So do not judge yourself that you've been in some financial difficulty. Our messenger put himself in that so many times because he knew it would push him, you see, to go to the next place, to start to embody more. And that's exactly what's happening now for so many of you. So just please let go of the judgment, because the abundance and money is not the real you. It's the essence of your consciousness is the real you.
Yeah, blessings to you, Wilhelm. Thank you for the work that you do on this planet. And yeah, we love you.
Thank you so much, and we love you also very much.
Awesome. So we're going to give Roger some moments to recalibrate himself. Roger is not remembering anything that has happened. so yeah, it's an interesting one. For those who have experienced channeling the first time, there are some who are conscious whilst they're channeling, so they're experiencing the stream coming through, remembering it. Roger basically does not remember, or maybe some small things that he intuitively can pick up on, but exactly. So Roger, how do you feel?
Good. I'm energized. Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. So yeah, Anya, what's present for you? Tell us.
It was powerful. I mean, I've been in this energy for whole day today, especially because Aaron is here and his wife as well. It's like, it's expanding, and this vision of merging communities together, and just like we didn't even met before, we practically just met. Like, what is possible? We are kind of setting the new standards. Like, what is possible? Like, you don't have to complicate. Yeah, just if you feel it, just do it. Just do it, and you will see what can come up, out of it, because the magic is already unfolding. We just have to surrender. We just have to open our hearts, and just let this magic flow through us. And I feel magical today, especially because Aaron is here. It's like, oh my God, like this is happening. And so many more people, individuals who are ready to share, to open their communities, to share the message, to merge energies together. Because you know what it is, like collective intention, collective energy, collective power. It's so much bigger than individual. So that's why, because we are one, we are together. We supposed to be together. I don't know why we are separating each other.
Amazing. Thank you. Jenna, I would like you to keep going. Let the women speak.
Thank you. We're ready to be free, right? I didn't know I was owned by Aaron as his wife. I thought my name was Jenna. Yeah.
We are
I'm
free.
really powerful and I know who I am, and I'm fucking here. And I got ignored and called his wife. That's what's happening here, guys. I know what I'm fucking doing, and I don't get why I have to edit myself to be here because I'm a fucking woman. I have to use him to prop him up to stand here today. That's what I've done for 2 years, taking tons of abuse every day. I don't want to yell.
Jenna, I apologize if I, use the wrong word.
You have to get what the energy does, like when you're in it.
Let's do it. It's an open space. Just express yourself.
This is the space because I'm shaking, and this is who I am, and I don't get to be this way because I get beaten down as a woman, and it's like, this is what I need, is a space to be this. And you did nothing wrong. This is normal. Like, this is what is normal.
Queen. You are a queen. You are a queen. You're a goddess.
And it's painful too. And I talk with him too, because the way he creates me is like, Aaron, and this is my wife. And I'm like, I'm fucking Jenna. Like, I know who I am. I have a name. And all I am is his wife and his wife. And I have to say,
I like the way. Like for me, it's like, it's what Eckhart says, like it's the my, it's the me, it's the this, it's the that, it's those associations. But like, we are so much more than just a man or just a woman, like we are consciousness itself, and we are free beings. And thank you for speaking up, because you give so many women in this moment right now the permission to do the same. And what has happened in the past for so many years is shameable, and every one of us feels that shame deep inside. And it's time to stop denying, and it's time for us all to speak the fuck up and to own who we are, to speak no matter if we, stop fearing that we offend someone. Just be you. If someone feels offended by what you're saying or whatever, it's not about you. If you feel the emotion to express yourself, there's a reason why this anger comes up. We've been told, don't be angry, don't be like this. Fuck, I'm angry. So let me feel my anger. Let me express my anger. It's just so time for us to do that. And I know Roger has a beautiful take on those things. Roger is 75. I muted you, Roger, but it's yours now. And Jenna, thank you. Much love.
Thank you. It's also just expression in the present moment. So I'm still here and I'm still not upset. It was just the energy and how it wants to flow through my body. So I just want to bring the room and their nervous systems. We're solid. I just allow it to channel through, and I torment myself because I have to hold my tongue, and that's the first time I haven't had to. So it just like, I'm so excited.
Amazing.
Power, and that's the first time that I didn't have to hold my tongue, because I literally was like, oh no, I don't know what to do, and I got to flow. So thank you. It is a gift. This is huge. Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, Roger, you're on mute. I muted you, so just unmute.
Oh, okay, there. I wrote a piece, and it's called "Crisis in the United States," and it'll help you, Jenna, when you read it, because it is talking about the oppression that so many women have felt for decades. So you're just expressing that this is what's gone on, and this is part of the shift that is occurring in our world as well. And it's so fascinating because that information came through in 2020, and now we're seeing it all right here. And it's about each of us shifting that balance within to become our full empowered beings. That's all. And so, and as we express it, it'll help others because we've all felt it in different ways. And so this is the time that we're meant to embrace and embody more. So thank you.
I'm fucking heating up, guys. I just have to.
Turn it up.
Yeah, Aaron, like, I mean, you're sitting here listening to all of us. Like, what's been going on for you?
Well, a lot has come up, especially when we talk about the feminine aspect of people. I think it goes beyond just women being women. It's men. We've so suppressed our feminine energy that we don't understand when we see women and that they're acting out what we call acting out, or they're being uncontrollable. That's just a reflection of us men, how much we've suppressed our own feminine aspect. And then when we see it in women, we get upset, we get triggered, we try to control and dominate because we don't allow that in ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to feel the depth of emotion or that free flowing. You know, we oftentimes as men are very logical and constructed, where we see that uncontrolled, like unrestrained energy, and we're like, what is that? And there's a beautiful quote from Hinduism is one of my favorite spiritual traditions, and it says this beautiful quote: Shiva, which is the masculine essence, is a corpse without Shakti, or the feminine essence. And that's essentially what we've been seeing for these thousands of years. And I see it in every teaching that I see people give. It's like, we honor the Buddha, we honor Jesus, we honor every masculine teacher, and nobody ever mentions any female teacher. We don't hear about a female prophet or a guru. It's always the males, the males. And I see that in myself. Like, for the longest time, I suppressed my emotions. I see her act highly emotional. I'm like, that is not okay. It creates discomfort in me, and I'm going to control you because I feel uncomfortable. And I appreciated that she did that because it helps me, you know, for me, I'm very good at embodying that, you know, unmovable. And she tests that boundary, like how much can you take? And I'm like, please, like, I'm wanting to become the strongest, where you can do whatever you're going to do. And I'm just going to be like, it's all good. So I think that's
Shake it.
it's a lesson for men specifically, is that we have to look at the feminine in us that has been beaten. We beat it in ourselves. You can't feel, you can't do this. And it's just, we're dominating our internal feminine energy when we got to let it flow. So that's what comes alive in me.
Amazing. I love that. Like, I know Roger has like he's for a man, he's got his own feminine aspect very present for a long time. Like, I know this, you know, like, so it's very beautiful to have this around right now. For me, as an example, as a child, like, I had so much feminine energy in me. Like, I was just like feeling so much, like every child is feminine dominant. Like, when we come here, we're just like it, you know, like, and we're so close to our mom. It's so natural for us. But then I grew up and I've been told, like, mans don't cry. Or I have a big man coming up to me, shaking my hand and just like squeezing my hand, so it has been painful. And I'm like, wow, dude, is this how a man has to be? Like, a man needs to be strong. And what the fuck? Like, we have a saying in German: Hinter jedem Mann steckt eine starke Frau. Behind every man stands a strong woman. And there's a reason for it. Women hold the space in a different way. The feminine energy for me is the space. The masculine energy for me is the thing that penetrates through the space. It's direct, it's, you know, and we have to balance both. And just because feminine, or like women, when they express themselves, they're feeling direct, like, maybe we're even uncomfortable by women being this way, because like we don't know how to handle it, you know, because of their power. So it's such a fascinating time for us to be in, and the revolution. And I mean, we see so much more men like becoming feminine or more feminine. I mean, we can see it for centuries now, actually. and it's a very interesting time. So thanks for that share. I feel that. Yeah. Anyone feels like something wants to be.
Yeah, I'm going to. We are in the place where we've got to claim who we are, and that was so challenging for me for the longest time, and I'm doing it now because we're supposed to make things bigger. And when I send this out to people, I'm going to send this replay to so many others, and I want people to do this work, and I'm going to give them something special to be able to do it. And I don't know, I'm just going to take it to as many. I want us to come together more, because what this work I did for 37 years was sitting down and receiving it every single day. And it turned into something we hadn't seen before, but I want others to be able to do it and for more of us to come together. So when I put this out, I'll give people that information. Everyone can step into the next version of themselves now. That's what we're doing.
Amazing. That's it. It's about empowerment, and
Yeah.
we're allowed now to be empowered.
Yeah.
No one can shut us down. No one. So
great. This is wonderful.
Anya, you're speaking, but I muted you, so we don't have any background noises going on. So just unmute and let's go.
Okay, here I am. So it's about embodiment. It's about embodying really what you feel, what you are. Like, just that you embody what is coming through. And recently I was kind of I don't know, denying the fact, that I can embody two extremes. But I did. Like, I have this incredible fire in me. Incredible. I like my higher self is so bold, so provocative. But on the other hand, like, when I channel light language, and when this energy also, like, my higher self is like so much love, so much grace, calmness, and gentleness. And when I feel that, when I share that with people, they're like, how is that possible? Because, they know me as this fiery woman, but that's me. But I'm also, the other one. So it's like I embodied two extremes, and this is possible. And I would like to share with everybody, like, just embody what you feel you are, and just do not resist. Because when you embody that, it's like, oh my God, it doesn't matter what happens in the world, because you are fulfilled, like, you are whole. And I feel this playful energy, a lot of joy, and it doesn't matter. Like, I can just shift, I can just tap in. And yeah, this is my message. Like, you can be who you want to be, like who you really are.
This is the path that we carve for ourselves when we express ourselves. And those who are not in resonance with it in this moment, they like all those energies, let's say, they move. So our way gets cleared if we are allowing ourselves to express ourselves. So we always attract what we're in resonance with. And I don't need to accept everything that's happening on this planet, and I don't. We've been told, oh, you gotta accept, you gotta be, open-minded and stuff like this. But yeah, what does it mean to be open-minded? Like, we all can choose our own path, and everyone can do what they feel or what they're called to do. And I feel it's very important, even for men, to be able to express their sensitivity and learning to be sensitive as well. Like, we think just women need to be in their feminine, and I love just what Aaron said there, and maybe you can just continue on what's present for you, as I feel it's so important for us men to step up in this way and learn to be vulnerable too, in our own way.
Yeah, and it's also providing the space for the women to do the same thing, and that's what a lot of us are not doing when it comes to, we create these spiritual spaces, and it is still male dominated. It's, for example, I've struggled for a long time to listen to her because I have read all the spiritual texts, and like, I understand the mechanics. I don't need you to tell me. And then when I really tune into it, it's like, when I get sensitive and I feel into it, I realize that she is right, and not right in the sense of, the psychological right and wrong. It's that she's reading the energy better than me because she's able to feel the subtlety that I'm missing. And that's what the beauty of that sensitivity that you're talking about. The further we can develop that feminine essence in us as men, we can feel that even the slightest whisper or movement of the energy. And a lot of us men are thinking that we could blunt force our way through this experience. Like, I'm going to be powerful and dominate this energy. It doesn't work. I've tried it. It leads to your own destruction. And this is why I specifically love the Hindu tradition so much, is because they have that already, the balance of they respect and honor the feminine. And I'm friends with a lot of Indians, and it's not like taking preferential treatment. It's because I love to talk to them, because they do this thing. They're like, I honor the great mother, and they even worship that feminine essence. And I just love that experience to communicate with people where there's not this, you're overcoming this Western barrier where men have been raised to, like, if you are sensitive, you're gay, or like all these different thoughts and ideas, that come up for men when they start to dive into that sensitivity. Like, I'm weak. I'm a weak man now because I've cried, or whatever barrier that you experience for yourself. And for me, it's been an incredibly difficult journey. I was raised in an abusive household and then shoved into the army. And through that whole experience of being around masculine men, where, like, let's talk crap about women, and if you disagree or you're sensitive, you're stupid or weak, and then you'll be pushed out of the man group. So we've created this huge divide in, especially Western society, where men are men and women are women. And I think that's the most important thing that we're moving through, is like, how do we honor women? I've been doing my best to surrender to, we have this egoic structure. Like, I'm Aaron Hurst, and I want to be important and seen as a wise man. And then my wife, who has been supporting my butt and like basically helping me with this creative energy. And then I'm like, you're useless. It's all Aaron here. What do you mean? I am the personality. And she's really humbled me in what, if other people from the outside looking in, they may look at the way she communicates with me and be like, that's extreme. Like, oh my gosh, she's abusing you. And in actuality, what she's doing is using the energy to show me that I have been denying the feminine in subtle ways. And I made a post even just yesterday of honoring her and the abuse that I have actually laid on her by dominating her in the energy and refusing to listen and honor her. So it's a huge lesson for us men, that now it's time for the women gurus and the women teachers, and like, where we humble ourselves and go, I can listen to a woman. She probably knows better than me. Like, she's been sensitive this whole time and had to listen to my bull crap, and I never listened to her once. So thank you.
Thank you. I take this as well. Like, even the Asian cultures, like I have some Vietnamese friends, and they're like I know 4 at work, and they, like, 3 of them are so in their feminine energy. I can just feel them, the way they shake your hand, the way they approach you, the way they just looking their auric field. It's just great. And I think, like, it's time again to come together and to learn from the differences. Like, there is no one right or wrong, like, there's so many ways and so many different ways of expressing ourselves, and every one of us has their own way. Every one of us has their own uniqueness, their own unique energetic blueprint. And it's for us to access that. And how do we access that? Is actually by first deciding that I want to access that. There's like so many ways to get there, but like, you got to find your own way, and you got to commit that you want to do that. Because we can go to so many people, we can do so many courses or programs or whatever the fuck there is. Don't get confused and don't get lost in all of that. If they want to sell you, I would ask myself, do I really need this? like for me, I'm just in a everyone for their own has their own inner guru. This is my belief, and like we all can access that in our own intuitive guidance. And I rather listen to people who transmit that energy from a pure place of state where I don't feel an agenda in their speech, rather than to follow anyone who wants to tell me how to do it. This is my take on this. And Jenna, I would like to hear something of you, and then Roger.
Something I've been so passionate about is putting words to the embodiment, and we do all this talking. And for me, my big whole thing is how to actually do this. And that's something that I just speak to a lot. So I almost like add a lot of extra words to give context of what's actually happening that I've studied here. And it's like, when I'm going live, it's like, I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. The present moment will guide it. I don't have to be ready. There's no ready. I'm always ready. It's whatever comes through. And what's there too is I also want to be mindful. So we're the full spectrum, as that both ends of the spectrum, I believe all embody. And what we're committed to is self-healing, self-teaching, self-learning, take control of your side of the street. We don't need to be in other people's bodies or pants kind of thing. And how do we do that powerfully and learn to, what I say, be my own soulmate, be my own union first. And that's really what had me transcend. I went through a divorce. I became my own soulmate. I was never getting remarried. I accidentally married Aaron because my mouth blurted yes when he goes, "Are you my wife?" So we have a wild story, and that's what the energy does. And so I also want to be mindful that this cost me everything, in the sense of I have nothing left. I mean, I have my husband and rebuilding. It's just, I asked the space if it was open, and then I professed what was there. If you're not in a safe container, it does actually cause harm to people. And I don't want to say, just go be loud and yell at people, because if it's not a safe space, you can harm the people you're with. And I really trusted what was here. And, Ajna, if you're free spirit, I was like, I think she's got this. I think we'll be okay to let me just pour through this. And what I experienced in 2022 was just this message that came through. It's like, you don't have a choice. This is coming through you. So for me, it's that ability of like this choice point of like, do I just surrender in and just allow it to come through? Because there's no stopping it once it does. And for me, I died for this. I believe the bazillion women who died for this. So there's a part of me that has all this shame of like, oh, that was really embarrassing. They're going to think I'm crazy. That's the first message I have out of my mouth. Ugh. And there's also a weight of the women who have died for this that I'm like, it wasn't enough. And the pain that we carry and what wants to come through all of us, and like the force that wants to come through, I can't do it loud because it won't land in the body like I need it to. I don't want to cry and manipulate. It's just like, this isn't like fun spirituality. This is like life and death. 72,000 people die today because we don't know how to handle it. And my heart with my audience online, and I could reach millions of people, it's like, I don't make sense today because I look a certain way. And if I just performed in the right, perfect way, I could get this message to millions. And so I work every day to stay regulated and prepared and meet that. I know there's a divine timing, so I don't judge it. It's just, there's people that we know who are powerful beings like myself, stuck in the decision between staying here or going home. And I just want to give the context, create the space, which I'm creating with you all here today, because it's just the timing. It's like, there's a message to get out, and we are doing that. And just how can we all step into our power, create content online, I think is just a base level thing. If you're doing anything spiritual, like, why are you in the comment section? Like, go tell your story, go be here, like show up. And that's where I accidentally discovered myself, and it wasn't easy. And that's why we were creating the tools, because it cost me everything to be myself online and discover my in-person was not who I was. And it is now a rebuilding. And I think a lot of us have been in that space. It's just being able to be so fully in the present moment and just working on the brain that's like, everything's wrong. It's like, okay, everything's wrong. And what's next? And just seeing that's where I'm at, and I feel complete. I'm overwhelmed in levels that I'm going to integrate for a lot of days, because this is just dreams that I could have never imagined. So thank you.
Love that. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say, as we end this, the work that I'm doing is about guiding each person to who they're meant to be. That's what it is. It's an inner guidance. And if they read the messages just on the line online today, they will understand that we each go through a process, and we just need a little guidance in being able to see that. That's all. And that's my entire life now, is about giving that to others. So thanks.
Can I ask
Thank you.
real quick?
Please.
So I just want to say, for anybody that may stumble upon this, guru is an often misunderstood word, especially in Western culture. We hear that and we think it's like a guru is like a god, or like you have to prostrate yourself before the guru, or like we've got these
Worship.
we've got scammy gurus in the West. In fact, my wife didn't even understand fundamentally what the word guru meant until I explained it to her. So I just want to say real quick, guru is just somebody that reveals the light to dispel darkness. And the whole goal of the guru is exactly what you said, is that everyone is a guru. So like the guru is just like, here's the light. You there now, you see your light, right? You're the guru. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Love that. And this also says like what Jenna was saying, like we are always ready. So everyone who still looks for excuses, just like just pretend. Like just pretend that you're ready right now. Just pretend. Give it a go and just pretend that you're ready right now. So yeah, Anya. Wait, you gotta unmute. I can't unmute you somehow.
I always forget about this. Okay, I got nothing at the moment. I was looking at Roger, and I think Roger wants to share something, because it's like I'm just embracing everything. Like I'm bathing in these energies now. So Roger.
Thank you.
No. I'm complete. I just feel we've
I
done it, and we can get everything out now, and we'll just move from here.
I also want to acknowledge, I also pronounced your name wrong. My dyslexia kicked in, and my Ajna human design brain read Ajna and Anya. So sorry, I want to acknowledge that too.
Ajna. When you said Ajna, I'm like Ajna Chakra. I'm like, yes,
That's what I
that's
was
it.
that's so right. Yeah. I was mentioning Anya, so just to be here. It's just,
you're actually not the first one who called me Ajna. So I've been called Ajna before. I was like, okay, I got an email. Hey Ajna. Okay. So be it.
Love it. So yeah,
Oh,
again, thank you guys. Let's take another
Thank you.
grounding moment in silence and just like, you know, for those who don't know how, just take a deep inhale and exhale very gently and slowly. This is all you gotta do, really. And not even that if you don't feel like it. Just take a moment for yourself. Listen. You're always ready. You are always loved. And you go back from where you come from. So, guys, thanks for joining. Amazing that this just happened as it did. Whoever writes this script must be a fucking genius.
Great.
And yeah,
Thank you.
we end the stream now, everyone. Like, leave us a comment, like, let us know what you feel. We love to connect with you. We will provide all the details to follow everyone, to get in contact or whatever, with everyone who was on stage with us here now. We love you and see you soon. Or see you in the heart. Let's say it this way, see you in the heart.
love you.